All right, let's take a look at some divisional odds and how these various moves affected them. Looking at, of course, Caesars, where we always get our odds from. I believe Billy can bring up the first set. I think we'll go, NFC East? Probably could have looked at it myself. Sorry about that. You knew it wasn't going to be completely smooth. All right, NFC West, we'll go there. So the 49ers, still the favorites at minus 160. Wow, it's pretty steep. Rams at 3-1, and the Seahawks, who just signed Geno Smith, at 5-1. The Cardinals all the way down there at 17-1. I don't know that the Geno Smith signing necessarily moves the needle on these odds tremendously. I think with the Seahawks, it'll probably be more about what do they do with those 2 first-round draft picks, because we saw how well, how much that impacted them last year. They go out and get like 2 studs, and like if they draft a quarterback at 5, it won't shrink their odds, right? Because we don't think that quarterback's going to play. So I guess what I'm saying is, how do we think that this, do you think that the Geno Smith thing moved the needle at all here?
I mean, apparently not. I'm looking at the Rams, though, thinking to myself, like, look, you've got a lot of staff turnover for the Rams. We'll see how Stafford comes back this season. Allen Robinson looks like he's either going to be traded or released. Not that he had a great year for them, but I think he was playing banged up too, and I still think he's got some tread on his tire. Just kind of interesting to see, like, they're still a part of that favorite mix, but it feels like they're more in rebuild mode right now. And I'm not sure their best football is still ahead of them. So the Seahawks might have some sneaky value there, at least as trying to make a push with San Francisco. But San Francisco is still the favorite. The roster is too talented. Even if it is Trey Lance at quarterback, we know it's not Jimmy G or Brock Purdy at some point, but they should still be number 1. It is a bit odd, though, that the Cardinals are as low as they are. I mean, are we really not believing Jonathan Gannon can't turn that around at all?
I think the issue is that
QB situation, because you don't know when Kyler Murray's going to be back. He might not be back till October. So you're sitting there trying to figure out who's going to be the starter, what that team's going to look like. I mean, those are long, extremely long odds, considering you don't know that in March. I think the Seahawks is a little more wild there because you have a playoff team, 9 wins last year, 5-1.
And the Niners, it's not like, the Niners are a really good team. We know that, but like, it's not like they're, I mean, it's not like
look at Shanahan's win-loss record with a quarterback outside of Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, until this past year with Brock Purdy, it wasn't looking too good. And I still think as a whole at San Francisco, it's even 500, even with Purdy this past season.
No, I don't. Maybe he was, but I mean, like, basically, it's like if you look at it without Jimmy G, and like we don't know if Trey Lance is gonna be. I mean, Trey Lance might not be good. We don't know. All right, let's go to the next division that we have, which is the AFC East. Bills at even money. Wow, Bills at even money feels. Oh, this is the Aaron Rodgers effect. So the rumor is currently right now that Aaron Rodgers, or there's another rumor. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, like, I think at this point we just take it as fact. Aaron Rodgers is meeting with the Jets, right? I mean, like, enough people have reported this is just happening, even if Aaron Rodgers says no one knows what he's actually doing. He's meeting with the Jets, and as a result, with the belief being that Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the Jets, the Bills are even money to win this division, which, I mean, give me the Bills at even money to win this division all day long, even with Rodgers in New York. The Jets at plus 240, Dolphins at plus 450, and then the Patriots, the dead last team in this division, Brady, which is, I don't blame the odds makers. It's just kind of wild to see.
It's crazy how fast it flipped, right? I mean, we were talking about this team dominating the AFC East for so long. Tom Brady leaves, and now we look at them potentially as the worst in the division. It's crazy to think that. Although, I mean, we're looking at the odds, I would say juiced a little bit, as you said, for Rodgers being there. Could the Jets jet and just mess this whole thing up with Rodgers and find themselves in just a terrible position? I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think if Rodgers leaves Green Bay, this is probably the most likely destination. Yeah. And I would actually say you might be bullish on the Bills. I would go ahead and take those odds now on the Jets with Rodgers.
Oh, really? You would? So yeah, if the trade happens, this probably becomes like +1. The Bills probably go to like +120, and the Jets go to like +150.
Maybe,
but I don't even. It doesn't even feel like those odds are necessarily juiced for Rodgers. It just feels like it's juiced in the sense that the odds makers are assuming the Jets are going to have any upgrade at quarterback. Because look, they won 7 games. They went 7-10 with Zach Wilson, which is a miracle if you think about it. And so if you upgrade at all, you're looking at maybe getting to 8 or 9 wins, make it Aaron Rodgers 10, 11, 12. So who knows? So yeah, I feel like the Jets.
I would just say that to me, this feels a lot like the AFC West last year, where if the Dolphins, people were talking themselves in the Dolphins because they want to get involved with that, especially if Tom Brady were to come back and do that. But apparently he's got a cat, can't play football. And kitten.
True.
And like in other words, like the Bills are the best team in that division, are probably going to win it. But I know what you're saying there, Brady. All right, what's up next? AFC North. Ooh, AFC North, very interesting. The Bengals, the Bengals at plus 130, the Ravens at plus 240, Browns at just around 4-1, and the Steelers at 5.5-1. I mean, again, it's difficult to win a division in multiple years in a row, but with the Lamar Jackson stuff happening, I don't know that that's properly adjusted for what.
I would short Baltimore if I could do that. Is that possible?
No, but I'm with you. I would short.
Did you bet on them not to win the division?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I think Cincinnati's a great look here at plus 130. I mean,
yeah, plus odds right now, especially considering I mean, look, Deshaun did not look good last year for the Cleveland Browns. We'll see how they improve this offseason. Obviously, revamped defense too with a new DC. I guess they're not expecting Kenny Pickett to take a big step, in his second year starting. Matt Canada is still there as the offensive coordinator. I know a lot of Steelers fans are not happy about that. So this one's like easiest to handicap to me. Like I think it's the Bengals all day, and take it now before it gets any better.
And the idea that look, we talked about at the beginning of the pod, Lamar probably not going anywhere because of what we've heard. But if he were to get if the Commanders were to go rogue, Dan Snyder goes rogue, and Lamar's out of this division, the Bengals are minus 150. I think jump on the Bengals now if you want to take that division. All right.
Real quick on that though, that the Bengals have never won the AFC North 3 years in a row. So they're 2 consecutive. And it really comes down to how you feel about Deshaun Watson. Because if you like him, obviously looked absolutely horrible in 6 games last year, then the Browns feel like maybe a sneaky good bet. And also the Bengals have struggled against divisional opponents. They are 7-5 over the past 2 seasons when they won the division. So they still struggle against those teams.
Okay. What else do we need? Do we look at a few more? Scroll down just see who's next. The Carolina. Oh, yeah, here we go. So the NFC South, the Derek Carr news moved the Saints to plus 135. The Panthers at plus 270.
Is something wrong? Should these be minus odds for the Saints? I mean,
yeah.
am I missing something here? Like he's by far and away the best quarterback. I think Michael Thomas who maybe was a cap casualty, now it looks like he might be a part of the roster moving forward this year with the restructure, and he's happy. So maybe that's going to work out with Chris Olave and Kamara. When healthy, their offensive line's one of the better in the NFL, and they still got a good defense. I mean, they seem like by far and away, I wouldn't say it's a cakewalk, it's the NFL, but for a division where you had an 8-9 winner go to the playoffs last year, I would think that the Saints and Derek Carr should be able to run away with this one.
Especially when we've just heard, and this may be one of the situations too, where the odds makers in this particular case, especially with it's conference tourney week, they're moving the odds around on signings, but it's not free agency. So they all want to have these up. So they may not be aggressively adjusting these enough. Like I would guess that these odds are not adjusted to the news that the Panthers and the Falcons are not going to pursue Lamar Jackson. Like if we believe those reports, all of a sudden you now have 3 teams with total question marks at the quarterback position who aren't going to trade for Aaron Rodgers because of the NFC and who aren't going to go get Lamar Jackson if you believe them, which means that the Saints are definitely going to have the best overall roster. It probably should be, like you say, Brady, minus 125 or so. Clearly the Falcons, the Panthers at plus 270 is just weird to me. All right. AFC South. Does it even matter? That's too low for the Jaguars. We can revisit AFC South. I mean, it's nothing today, nothing during the tag period. Outside
if Derrick Henry, though, is moved this offseason.
Yes. If Derrick Henry
Tennessee.
Yeah, you would short Tennessee.
Yes.
Yeah, if you could. The NFC South, however, look at that. You tag Tony Pollard, you go down to plus 180. The Giants don't appear to have the Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones news doesn't appear to have
didn't do anything. Didn't do anything.
All right. I mean, if you lose Daniel Jones, maybe the Giants are closer to 10-1. Is it worth a 10-1 stab on Washington if they went out and got Lamar? I mean, you would be betting the 10-1, hoping that
hoping that they find a way of getting him. I mean, Breech.
I don't know.
I mean, again, that's a team that won 8 games with not very good quarterback play. So if you just get a slight upgrade, maybe they can. I feel like that number is at least sprinkling, as Brinson loves to say. Sprinkle?
Sprinkle. Yeah, I mean, the idea of it, like, with what we've heard of all these teams in Lamar, it's like, all right, I think it's probably likely that he's going to stay in Baltimore, but probably lower than 10-1.
Let's say it's not Lamar. Let's say it's Jimmy G. Like, are you then looking at going, okay, like I could see them winning 9 games.
They would probably come down to like 8-1 or something like that. It's just like the total uncertainty of quarterback makes it really, really difficult. Okay. AFC West. The Chiefs are still too cheap. Chiefs should be minus 200 every year to win this division.
Russell Wilson.
I mean, I don't hate Sean Payton and Russell Wilson at all, obviously, but Chiefs at minus 150, Chargers plus 340, Broncos 4.5-1, and the Raiders 12-1. I mean,
they throw a Hail Mary and get Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, that's the only way these odds improve. Outside of that, I mean, obviously, the Josh Jacobs franchise tag doesn't really do much.
No, and like this number Breach, I think reflects the idea that we've heard a lot of speculation that Rodgers and the Raiders is just not going to be a thing.
Yeah, and it is a little surprising to see the Broncos. Again, that's the mystery, Sean Payton, Russell Wilson. But like Brady said, tag means nothing for the Raiders. You don't know who their quarterback's going to be. I don't think you can bet on them.
Do we have any division? I can't keep track. NFC North. One more, last one.
Ooh,
Lions
the favorite?
Yeah, the Lions are the favorite at plus 140. The Vikings at plus 275. Packers plus 320, and the Bears at 5-1 for the Bears. That seems insanely cheap.
It should be like 10-1.
Yeah, like 12.
Higher.
Yeah, I mean 5-1. I mean, I have no interest in the Bears at 5-1. If they were like 10-1, I wouldn't be opposed to it. The Vikings to me stands out as pretty obvious. And like, what if Aaron Rodgers isn't traded? Now the reports are that there was a rumor that the Packers are hoping he comes back and is like, I don't want to play anymore, or I don't want to play here anymore. And they're like, cool, we'll trade you. But I mean, if Aaron Rodgers comes back to the Packers, they're a lot closer. They're probably the favorites.
Is this line baked in for Rodgers being the starter next year? I think Jordan Love, because if it's Jordan Love, it's way too high.
It should be like
I would think they should be like 5-1.
Yeah, I think it is a hedge. They don't want to make it 5-1 plus, and then like Rodgers comes back and just get obliterated. But you don't want to make it, because if you move it down to like, where the Rodgers numbers should be, which would be like plus 120,
and everyone will bet the other teams, hoping Rodgers doesn't play.
Yeah, exactly. So because I think they got burned on the Packers last year too, by the Packers stinking. I know I got burned on the Packers last year.